South Korea has just banned short selling until at least June of 2024. South Korean regulators found circumstances of possible naked short selling after disclosing cases of the practice by global banks. Now, this investigation will target institutional investors suspected of engaging in unlawful short sales. Additionally, the FSS will scrutinize domestic brokerage firms that facilitated transactions for these global investment banks. The inquiry will assess the entire short sale process and determine if these brokerage firms proceeded with the transactions despite being aware of their potential illegality. Local media outlets have identified the two firms under investigation as HSBC and BNP Paribas, which allegedly short sold stocks worth more than 50 billion won, aka $37 million between 2021 and 2022, including shares of companies like Kakao and Hotel Shilla. Okay, so South Korea has banned short selling. What does this mean? What is the context? Number one, this ban does not include US listed stocks. Number two, South Korea has had this ban before and was recently lifted in May of 2021. And number three, the ban is only for large market capitalization stocks. All other stocks can still be sold short. Well, come take a look at this comment. I don't believe that Citadel Securities trades in South Korea. I wanted to jump right on this. Not only do they trade in South Korea, but the firm carried out such trading on an average of 1,422 stocks per day from October 2017 to May 2018, totaling more than 500 billion won worth of trades. Not only do they trade in the South Korean market, but Citadel Securities was fined by South Korea for stock algorithm trading breaches. In fact, South Korea says that Citadel's illegal trades stand out as some of the most egregious ever in South Korea. The commission said it was the first time it had imposed fines on such high-frequency trading on the South Korean stock market, which has a high portion of retail investors and little competition among algorithmic traders. What is going on, guys? Lottery Stocks here. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to the channel if you're new. South Korea just banned short selling on specific stocks. We went into the context of it, and we went into Citadel Securities' correlation with South Korea as well in the stock market over there. But in today's video, we have some extra additional DD to cover on AMC, and then to prep you before the weeks to come, what's about to happen, my outlook on everything, and a little sprinkle on top, which we'll touch on later. Overall, get this video to 1,000 likes, hit that notification bell, and drop the popcorn emoji in the comments if you think AMC is going to run this week on earnings. Now, Geode Capital Management, potentially the whale that continues to squeeze stocks higher and crush the VIX. How would they crush the VIX and squeeze stocks higher? So basically, their strategy, and keep in mind they're managing over $1 trillion in assets, is to constantly short volatility on the holdings that they own to capture premium. Well, do you want to know which stocks they invest in as part of their latest 13F disclosure? Here's a list of their holdings above $10 billion in value. Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, Nvidia, Google, Tesla, Meta, BRKB. All large market cap stocks. Golden Nugget number 18 may get the AMC army crazy. And you guys let me know in the comments down below, did you know that NASDAQ had a Quality of Markets committee? Not to mention, this committee is chaired by Joe McCain of Citadel Securities. But there is also someone else interesting in there, which we just covered, Geode Management, Kenneth Zimmer of Geode. He's on here as well, but considered a non-industry member, yet he's the head of trading over at Geode. Also dropping the question why it seems only the NASDAQ, where all the mega cap tech companies trade, has a Quality of Market committee greatly filled with hedge fund insiders. You guys let me know what you think about this in the comments down below. Citadel, the largest market maker and hedge fund, and who knows what else they're listed as, right? A ton of things, giving them access to all the functions, access to managing the liquidity of markets. And then you have Geode, not listed in any sort of important roles, shorting volatility on the companies that they own. Coincidentally, these mega cap plays that have a Quality of Markets committee and is filled with hedge fund insiders. Speaking of hedge funds, we just talked about how they are not doing well, and we have a brand new drop. Hedge funds caught in crowded trades suffered in Thursday's stock rally, according to Goldman Sachs. And yesterday, we also talked about death to banks and the earnings week on AMC. If you didn't see what I'm expecting for earnings, make sure to go watch that. But speaking of banks and everything happening, just a little sprinkle on top. Some deposits may be temporarily delayed over at Bank of America. I'd say, yeah, lottery sucks. We know there's stuff happening in Bank of America. We know there's stuff happening with these banks, this bank, that bank. I went over everything else in that video with what's happening with banks, as well as I posted some things in the community tab covering banks as well. But this is just an addition so that you guys keep in mind banks are in trouble. Now take a look at this. Limited limited theatrical release in the United States on December 15th, 2023, before its streaming debut. Zack Snyder's Rebel Moon is now having a limited theatrical release before the debut on Netflix. And this is just going to show you guys, why wouldn't every movie do this, right? It's just extra revenue for the movie, and it also just cockblocks the competition. I just thought this was sick and figured I would throw it in the video. Now, we covered AMC's chart yesterday. Before we start the week, we're looking at the weekly time frame. We know that they have been walking AMC down, just walking it down with these fake shares, shorting the flow over and over again. But this is the longest time we have traded sideways like this, except maybe a little bit more recently. They may be building a lot of firepower to push it lower. However, if they can't get this thing lower, we may see a spring to the upside. Take a look at the last time we saw this type of volume in the chart. The last time was all the way back here from the first run up and the second run up, January of 2021 and June of 2021. We have not seen the volume like this since then. We may be seeing something happen soon. Also, take a look at the on-balance volume. We know it's manipulated, and even still now on the weekly, it is at an all-time high, while the stock is at an all-time low. GameStop on-balance volume looks solid as well. Shareholders aren't really adding or letting go of more shares on GameStop. As of right now, it didn't sell as hard as AMC, and if you want to know my take on that, go watch the recent video. Now, AMC FTD is going crazy, and the short interest also going crazy. According to Stock Hubs, short interest at 14.62%. Now, remember, back when short interest was bouncing between 26% down to 21%, they were walking the price down. They rinse and repeat until the short interest drops to nothing. But there's a lot that goes into this. They're marrying these option contracts, make it look like the short interest is disappearing. Don't fall for it. If you haven't seen my exit strategy video on AMC, make sure to go watch that as well. Sorry to plug these videos. They are important. Just be very, very careful watching these short interests. Seeing a pop in it, you may be expecting another move to the downside, because that is exactly what they do. And before we touch on some additional stuff, make sure to pop in the Discord before the week starts. It's $2. If you guys aren't joining the Discord for $2, you're missing out on a ton of free education where you can bounce ideas back and forth, get better at trading the stock market, and there's just so much more benefits to the Discord and the best vibes in there. So get in. The link is right under the video and pinned in the top of comments. Also, if you want the 16 free stocks, each valued up to $2,000 per stock, use my link in the top of the description or pinned in the top of comments. Sign up for Moomoo like you would Webull or Robinhood, or Robberhood, I should say. Once you make a deposit of any amount, you will start earning benefits from there. So sign up, make a deposit, earn those free stocks, and grow that account. Plus, you get a ton of other benefits, including level 2 order book data for free, access to trading options, going long, going short, viewing other exchanges, and more. I wanted to point out one thing on the SPY. I already talked about my price predictions for the week, so I don't want to waste any time on it, but taking a look at the RSI as well as the Bollinger Bands, it shows that there is more room for the SPY to continue to rally, which is absolutely insane after 5 straight green days, after a couple gap ups as well in these green days. In my opinion, before the RSI has to cool off and the Bollinger Band has to cool off, I think the SPY can come up to 439, which is crazy. It's trading at 434, and I think before it even has to blow off steam, according to some indicators, it could scale all the way up to 439. So just keep that in mind on the S&P 500. Scary thing to see if you're playing puts for that retracement. I am in puts for that retracement, but not by much. I'm more so looking for a re-entry into calls. Overall, just don't be surprised if the SPY doesn't cool off on Monday. However, we correlate Bitcoin to the equities market, and Bitcoin needs a cool off. Take a look at the RSI. It's way too overbought. This is exactly what I expect to happen with Bitcoin. I think it's going to come down to 32,000, come back up, retest 35, come back down to this trend line at about 29,000, and then break that 35 level and come up to 40. This is exactly what I see happening with Bitcoin, and I see it happening right at the end of November when it comes back up to that 40K. So the beginning of December, I see Bitcoin at 40K. Now, important earnings this week. Disney, Uber, Lyft, Rivian, LI Auto, AMC, eBay, Wynn Resorts, MGM Resorts, Roblox, Datadog, Twilio, Trade Desk, Unity Software, and Robinhood. If you guys are playing any of those, let me know in the comments down below. And finally, it's time to bring this chart back. Where are we now? Because everyone has their own opinion on the overall market. That is what I got for you guys for today's video. Hopefully you enjoyed watching or found value out of the video. And also, I hope you guys had a great weekend. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, hit the like button on your way out, have post notifications on, and get in the Discord. I love you all. Lottery Stocks out.